And here we are.
What's going on?
What are you doing? What are you building?
I'm working on the Games Workshop Argonaut Ironclad.
And I am going to work on the Pack 6 of the Agora fire truck.
I haven't seen any of the fire truck being built yet.
I have to, I forgot about that. I need to add that in here.
You have to do what?
That the disclaimer about the bend sound music. Where I'm hearing myself. Why do I hear myself?
I don't know. I'm not hearing an echo.
No, I do hear myself though. You know what? I have a feeling that it was my laptop. Okay. I know I'm gonna have to do custom lighting on this. I know it's coming. No, let's see. I hear that echo again.
You haven't done any yet?
No, I've done a bunch of lighting on this, but I know these parts are going to need additional custom lighting.
So you know you're gonna have to do more custom lighting.
More custom lighting, yes, indeed. Back. Steps. And lights. All right. Reach into my cabinet. All right.
What part of the truck are you working on now?
This is the it's like the left rear compartments, so it sits on the left side of the chassis. We're
Oh,
gonna
all
end up
those little compartments
putting a
on,
bunch of
on the
compartments.
side.
Yeah, all the compartments we've been building over the last, forever and ever. Seems really strange. So the instructions say that we're supposed to be, there's a little notch right here, which I can see it. Goes in the upper left. But if you do that, this sticks up above this plate. And is that on purpose? Because if you do it the other way, it's a little off. Well, we'll follow the instructions until it says not to.
Are Eagle Moss's instructions usually pretty good? Or Agora, rather. That's Agora, ain't it?
Well, I help Agora make these instructions because I used to be a firefighter. So
Oh, really?
yeah. So
Nice.
I work with Claire from Agora to help them make these instructions a little easier to read and to understand. And so let me take the stabilizer through the holes. Like so. Uh-oh, somebody's here. Uh-oh.
Oh, Todd has company.
Uh-oh. I suppose I should bring the comments up just so I can keep track of who's actually talking to us. Let me move my laptop a little bit. Somebody's here. All right. So we're going to take that. And we need 2 type H screws. I don't know who's watching, but hello.
How do you know there's somebody watching? You have YouTube open too?
No, so in StreamYards, if you look at the upper left, right next to where it says we've been live for 8
Oh,
minutes and
okay.
35 seconds, there's a little
One.
eyeball. That tells you who's watching. Yep.
Oh, never mind. They went away. They heard us talking
And they're
about
gone.
them.
Yep. Maybe it was a bot.
That is a distinct possibility. I don't know if Hobby Time Modelers has gotten popular enough to have any bots yet. It's crazy how many people's YouTube streams have gotten hacked lately.
Mhm. Maybe people need better security. Who knows? Now, I have to take these steps here.
I'm sure everybody could use a little better security, but I'm hoping with my whole 51 subscribers that nobody will bother to hack my channel.
Yeah, I think I got up to, I'm like 84. I'm not here for the subscribers as much as I'm here to build models. I like that they subscribe. That's nice.
Right?
It'd be nice to, if I hit 100, I get to have my own like custom channel name, which would be nice. You know, or you could have like youtube.com/MarvelPhoenix.
Right? Maybe they'll back off on that requirement. I mean, used to you couldn't live stream from a phone unless you had 1,000 subscribers, but they changed that now.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Eric live streams from his phone all the time. He got mad back when they first instated that rule because that's the way he did most of his videos was from his phone because he didn't have a computer, you know, that would do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then they put that rule up and Eric couldn't stream from his phone no more.
That is unfortunate for him.
Right? But then they got rid of it, so he's back to streaming from his phone now.
Well, then I guess it's a nice thing.
Yeah. For a company as big as Google is, they do a lot of experimentation. And let's try this and see if it works.
Dead air. Now you're supposed to say something.
Something.
Indeed. So I am working on stage 38. of the Agora Tower Ladder 9. And all I did was add this diamond plate panel with the notch cut up in the upper left. That notch is up there. Put on the left, I guess this would be the left rear stabilizer, and put it in with 2 HM screws. And we put that to the side because now we're going to build some steps. So I need to get some glue.
Did you see Buck's stream the other day when he was building the steps for the Route Master?
I believe I did. The other thing I like to do is I noticed on these steps, so they're different sizes. The bottom step has the shortest pegs, the second step up has the longest pegs, and then the top 2 steps have the pegs the same size. So we're going to start with this bottom peg or bottom step that has the shortest pegs, and we're going to put the side panels on it. So I did notice, and I don't know if it's going to show up, probably not, because you know the camera likes to focus. One side of this is smooth, and one side of this step has a mold release cut from where the sprue used to be. So I want this nice clean side to face out. So
Right.
I'm going to hook this up with a little dab of glue. Just on here. Put this on here. I'll hold it for a second. So when this goes on here, the outside faces this, and this step needs to go back and out. So I'll hold that up so you can see it.
Ah.
And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side of the step. So switch hands. Put it there.
Do they usually do a pretty good job of getting the parts off the sprue without damaging them?
Yeah. I mean, I've yet to have any like broken parts, not with any Agora builds. It's been fine.
Yeah, but I mean, like when they clip them off the sprue, you know, and
Oh, like whether you have to sand them or something?
yeah, you've not had any with like a little chunk missing out of it where they clipped it off.
Oh, yeah, no, I haven't had that part. Oh, don't squeeze it too hard. You launch everything all over the place. See, like I
That's
just did.
good. That's what I would worry about, you know, with them clipping the parts off themselves.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure the guy or lady or whatever that's sitting there clipping parts all day is not as concerned about that as you are when you get the parts.
Nah, they probably aren't.
They're just clip, 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 clip. Okay, time to go home.
Maybe. It very well could be. I think I'm going to put some glue in these actual pegs. Around the pegs. Take a picture of that. Take a picture of that. I try to take pictures along every step of the way so I can put them on the site.
Yeah, I saw you taking pictures the other day when you were talking about the Enterprise.
Yes. We'll let that dry for a second. I'm just getting over COVID, so. And I am going to go grab.
Yeah, I had that just a couple weeks ago.
See, we didn't advertise this anywhere.
Oh, the stream?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
That's okay. People can always watch it back.
Well, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing, so
Well, we just happen to be doing builds. Why not?
right. My only problem, Buck does a lot of live streams when he's building models and stuff, and a lot of people do. But if I'm just sitting here by myself, it's hard for me to keep a conversation going when I'm just sitting here painting or something.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like I. That's why I was talking. I was talking to him about that. I'm like, how does anybody do this if they're just talking to themselves?
Yeah. I guess with the part works, it's a little easier because you're always putting parts together. I'm putting this part here and this part here. But when you spend 10 minutes painting one part, it's like, okay, I'm brushing paint on here now. And now I'm going to
Yes.
go over here and brush paint on.
Yeah. Like I can explain that I'm taking this step with the longest post now, and I'm putting the smooth side out because this is the front of the steps. We're going to put this one in. Give it a second just to grab.
I do like the way that fire truck looks.
I am overwhelmed with how good the quality is. It's very well painted. There's lots of small details. I am really happy with it.
And since you used to be a fireman, you know what details should be there.
Well, every department gets different. The truck's built a little differently,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
this truck is supposedly from 2000. I think it's supposed to be 2001, um, but I'm not sure it is. Based on, I could not find any pictures of a 2001 Ladder 9 that looked like this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that's okay. It's still an FDNY truck, and it still looks really good. And I mean, all the little panels are painted with tiny little details. Um, so I'm super happy with it. Like I love the way it looks. Let that dry for a second.
Well, that's the important part.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I would be willing to bet that doing a fire truck is not like doing the Enterprise. There's going to be very few people jump up and go, well, actually, that's a 2007 model.
Yeah.
And
And while they very well could, you know what I mean? I went through the different apparatus of the FDNY, and even historically. Um, and the closest thing I could find was a 2006 Seagraves aerial scope, 75 footer, but it was actually not ladder 9, it was ladder 18. So I'm wondering is if with this was originally a D'Agostini model, and it makes sense since it came out in 2008 that this would be a 2006, not 2001.
right,
But um, you know, it makes sense that possibly what I'm guessing happened is when they went to take pictures of the truck, it was on a because sometimes they'll use standby rigs where they relabel a truck. Like something actually happens. The engine, they have a motor failure or parts failure or something breaks on the actual ladder 9, and what they do is they take a reserve truck and they just stick a sticker on the side that looks like a 9. Right? They use white tape or something, and it's just
right.
a stand-in. It's just a stand-in ladder that they use temporarily.
So they get the other one back on the road.
Yeah, so the other one gets fixed. And I'm guessing that maybe that's what happened is when they went to take pictures of the rig, they got the wrong one.
They got a stand in.
Yeah, because even on the front of the truck it says it's like ST01007, which the rig number.
Right,
And somebody found a video of that truck being still used today in reserve. That literally that exact truck number, apparatus number, being used today, and they did a full walk around of it, like while it was parked in the apparatus bay while it was parked in the station, and there's noticeable differences.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like I think the current one looks like it's got a 95-foot ladder on it, not a 75-foot. Which they can always change the ladder, but they could change the cab. They could put the cab on a different chassis. I mean, there's all sorts of things that could have changed. You just don't know. All I know is the truck looks fantastic, so I'm really happy with it.
Well,
Anyway,
I mean, that's the main thing, though. As long as you're happy with it, that's what counts.
So, for later viewers, not live viewers, all I did was match this side to this side. So now the step with the long pegs is sticking out the upper holes on the other side. And the step that had the shortest pegs is now nice and recessed, and it's nice and square. So now we can move on. Now, what they want us to do is to take these parts, which is actually this one, not the one with the recessed ladder. This is for the handles. These recessed holes are for the handle. We don't want that one just yet. And we're going to take these steps, and these steps are going to go in these holes, like so. And these two holes at the back are the back panel for the back panel. So this is the front. And so I made sure that the smooth edges of the steps are in here.
When Buck was building the steps for the Route Master, the steps are curved. The photo edge they gave him to cover the front of the steps, the curved part of the step, was flat, and it wasn't brass. It was steel photo edge. So he had to bend steel photo edge around the steps. That was fun to watch him struggle with.
Good old Buck.
Right? I watched him cutting it, and you could tell by the force that he was using to cut it. Dude, that is not brass photo etch.
All right, now I just do a little bit of custom lighting work. So the first thing I need to do is we're going to
the fun part.
Yep, because this is going to be a strobe light. So I need to pin a hole through this. We're going to mark the dead center with my X-Acto and get a pilot hole started. Then I'm going to grab my pin vise.
What are the lights for that you're adding there?
So I have I bought a bunch of components from Light My Bricks, which is a Lego company. And they have all sorts of effect boards. And so I'm adding, like I added lights to the interior dome lights, which were not there originally. I'm adding strobes all along the sides of the truck, which these lights are normally not lit, and I'm going to have them lit.
Nice.
So I'm adding red LEDs to all these parts. I have a little rubber mat that I like to use. This is actually it's like a base, like rubber feet you put on like an air compressor or something out in the garage. It works great for just like a little temporary workbench that I can drill holes into instead of like a piece of wood.
Instead of drilling into your desk.
Yeah, I don't want to drill into my desk. That's a good start. I'll get the next size up. That's good. We have another visitor. Say hello.
Hello.
Say hi, Donnie.
Somebody. Drop a comment and then we'll know who you are.
And they're gone.
We don't hold their attention very long, Todd.
We're just not that entertaining. So I also need to take this,
We
the
need to
red
find out what
cover,
Buck's secret is.
right? It's called having a stream during the day, not when
This
everybody's
is
sleeping.
true.
So I also drill a slight hole in the back of the red reflector just to make room for the LED. And this hole, I don't want to go all the way through it with this one. Just want to drill into this a little bit. Just a small one.
I
Then
thought
gotta
about. Go ahead.
No, then I gotta go find all my light my brick stuff. It's around here somewhere.
Oh, I thought about putting lights in this. It would be really cool to light up, but then I thought, nah, we're gonna use it for D&D, so I don't want to worry
Oh,
about
is that what it's
batteries.
for?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Warhammer mini, but I thought it
Gotcha.
would make an awesome airship for playing D&D.
Nope, that makes good sense. You know what? Since I know I have to do this light, and there's a strobe on the back. Here it is. There's a strobe also on the very back of the truck, which I know we're also going to build. So I'm going to go into pack 40. I'm going to get this little red light out of here. I'm going to do the same thing. I know we're going to have to do it. So open this up. Gonna have to do it anyway. Might as well do it now. Oh, see this one.
How do you know
These
that Pack 40
already
has
has
one?
because I went through all the parts before I started just to look to make sure they're all there. This one already has a divot in it because this one would normally have an LED behind it.
So that one's normally lit anyway?
You know what's really interesting? It's not supposed to be lit. Red, orange. Interesting. There's a light on it. When does that light? Oh, you know what? I bet you that blinks with the strobes. Oh, I bet you it blinks with the lift bars, the light bars. So now I've made I started a divot in the back of this one. This one doesn't need it, but I started a divot
So
in
now
that one.
it's going to blink when you want it to blink.
That is correct. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to a little bigger one. This is about 1/8 of an inch. We're just going to drill just ever so slightly into the back of this. I do not want to get this drill bit to go all the way through. Just want to drill into it just a little bit. I'm going to just make one. All we're going to do is making room for the LED. So, as you probably can see, so this is the one I drilled. And I'll try to get this to focus. Who knows if it's going to actually focus. This is the one I drilled. This is the one from them. Look, it's almost exactly the same. All right. So I'm done drilling. Where do you live, Donnie?
Do what?
Where do you live?
I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Have I ever been to Tennessee? I don't know if I've ever been to Tennessee. I don't think so.
That's okay. I've never been to Phoenix, so.
No?
No.
It's hot
or
here.
anywhere in Arizona.
It's very hot here.
Yeah, there's a guy that I paint Warhammer minis for. He lives in Chandler, Arizona.
Okay. It's not too far from here. So this is light my brick stuff. This is a microbit light, red 15 centimeter. I'm just going to grab one of them. And I choose these because one, they're
15
modular.
centimeter?
The wire is 15 centimeters long.
Oh, okay.
The LED itself is tiny, like tiny. So, I mean, there's the LED on the end of my fingertip. Let me see if I can get that on the camera.
I was going to say 15 centimeter LED. That's a big LED.
Yeah, no, it's super tiny. We'll go back in the bag. It wants to go everywhere but the bag. It's one of those kind of things. All right. So I will do that, and then we do want to test it. So when you use the microbits, and if anybody's ever going to do this, is when you use microbits, you have to make sure you connect it to a micro board, because the micro board has resistors on it. These little microbit lights do not have resistors embedded, and if you try to plug them into a regular board on Light My Bricks, they will just burn up right in front of your face. So I'm going to plug it in because we're going to test, make sure it works.
Eric's done that.
Yeah, burn stuff up.
Yeah.
I need to grab. We'll go off camera here for a second because I gotta go find my plug.
He exploded an LED.
I've done it before, but I'd rather not do it.
I've blew them out. I've never exploded one.
Oh, I've definitely popped them before.
I take
on
that
purpose,
back. I
mind
did
you,
once, but it was on purpose just to see what would happen.
Oh, yeah, no, that's. I hooked up a 9-volt battery to one day.
Yeah, Jalen was talking about she run 12 volts through a LED and it exploded, and I was like, really? That sounds kind of cool.
Yep. So I get the USB adapter. Plug this in.
Eric is the only person I've ever seen that ran 24 volts through a model that was resisted for 12 volts and only lost one LED.
Little tiny red light. So, you know that one works. Oh, my camera card is full.
Oops.
Yep, time to go get another. Be right back.
There's that awkward silence again. Still 0 viewers.
Well, it's the middle of the night. The UK is all asleep. We didn't tell anybody about it.
This is true.
Probably not going to get a whole lot of people to watch it live.
You actually use a real camera instead of your cell phone?
I do use a real camera. Yep. Cell phone cameras are not that good.
Some of them are okay.
Even the latest, greatest, I have an S22 and it's got 5 cameras on the back. And if I blow any one of these pictures up, even with all the settings and everything in amazing mode, if I blow one of those up and zoom in, it's just grainy.
That is true.
Not an SLR. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little resin work. Get some solar res.
I love solar res.
Get myself a little.
What kind of camera do you use?
I have a Canon 90D.
90D.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 60D.
I've had a 20D, I've had an 80D, and I've had a 90D. And honestly, well, this takes, excuse me, I'm going to have a, the 90D has better resolution. That's like 32 megapixels or something. But the pictures were sharper on my 80D.
Better focusing. Or better compression.
I think it had a better focusing system. All right, so now I'm going to need my super duper awesome glasses that don't hold anymore. Put these on
Did
real
you ever
quick.
find the lens you lost?
I did. It was hiding inside my softbox. Somehow it ended up inside my light.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got to take my headset off. Hang on.
What are the odds of that happening?
All right. Because what we need to do here is take this little tiny LED and bend it straight back. Nobody's going to be able to see this. Basically, the LED is facing up and the wires are facing straight away from the LED is what I'm trying to do here. And then we'll take that LED. We got to put it through the frame from the back. So we go from the side with the pins, feed the wire through. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to take this LED and I'm going to put a little drop of resin in the back of the light, the tiniest of drops.
Solar res is just amazing for fixing LEDs in place.
Yep. So I take that, and with one hand, I'm going to take this LED, and it's rectangular, so I'm going to make it line up with the shape of the emergency light lens. Oops, you know what? That's a little big. A little too much of a drop, so I'm going to soak some of that up with a cotton swab. All right. So again, I'm going to take this, line it up with this, and get my little infrared light ready. And I'm going to dip this in the resin so it's centered. Just like that. Hold it still, hit it with the light for like 1 second, and that's it. And that's why I like solar res.
Right?
Now I can blast it the rest of the way. Just give it a couple 2-second blasts. Again, resin gets hot. UV resin gets hot when it's curing, so I usually give it a chance to cool down. Blast it again. That's it. Our LED is now inside there. Super easy.
I like using the solar res because if you're like cutting a hole in a model to put a light in, a model that wasn't meant to have a light there, you can actually create the lens and glue the light in at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And solar res sands so easy, you could sand the outside surface of it down flush with the model and polish it a little bit, and it's perfectly clear.
Yep.
I did that on my Vulcan shuttle.
So I will hook it up again real quick. Just make sure now the whole reflector lights up, just like that.
Nice. And those are Lego LEDs?
Mm-hmm. They're made for lighting Lego kits, but That's what I like about Light My Bricks is Light My Bricks lets you you can buy just the components. You don't have to buy the sets. You can just literally buy just the components.
That is cool.
Yep. So then it'll recess right down into the frame just like that. We will glue that in. I will glue that in. And we have a light. They get to block off like so much of the frame to get the camera to focus on it, but there's the light. Actually, that's stuck in there pretty good. Maybe I don't have to glue it. Even better. All right, so that one is ready to go. So I'm going to unplug it from the board. Now, in order to mount this in here, we're going to have to drill a matching hole in that guy. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have to drill a matching hole in the metal box frame of the truck as well. And that's okay. They don't say in the instructions, ironically, is that these pins are different sizes. And these holes are different sizes. So this only goes in here one way. It's
Well, that's a good thing, ain't it?
Little piece of flashing right there. I'm going to chop that off just real quick. X-Acto knife.
That way you don't put it on and then 10 steps later realize, ah, shit, I put that on backwards.
I don't think it matters. So again, I'm just drilling a pilot hole in this with my knife. And then, surprisingly enough, when it's soft plastic, the X-Acto knife will drill a pretty big hole. See? All done. No screws needed.
Nice.
Now, I don't want to put this light in just yet, but I will take a picture of this panel with a hole drilled in it. I don't want to put that light in just yet because that light, this panel has to be pressed onto the box frame, which is, let me grab it. That panel is going to have to go on here like this. It's going to have to be pressed in. So that means that our wiring needs to go through the metal box.
So you're going to have to drill a hole in the box.
I am going to have to drill a hole in the box. But that is also okay because all of this metal is, for the most part, die cast. So it's not the end of the world.
Dremel time.
You know what? That's actually not a bad idea. See, Donnie? That's why I have you. That's why you're
random ideas every now and then.
That is why I keep you around.
Well, at least I'm good for something.
I'll bring my Dremel out and we'll Dremel this bad boy. I was going to use my big old, my big old drill.
I use my Dremel for a lot.
Yep. Is that collet going to get small enough?
I have a Hyper Tough brand Dremel that I bought at Walmart for $30. And that thing has drilled so many windows. It's not even funny.
All right. Before we do that, I watched Steve Willens from the Maker's Cave. I watched him do his stage 6. He got to it before I did because
I don't think I've ever watched him.
I like Steve. I watched him do this, and he had to shave metal plastic off this lower peg, and it looks like I am going to do the same thing.
To make clearance for the wire.
Yep. No, to make it so this actually just fits normally. So I'm just going to shave off a little bit around this post. I just take my X-Acto knife and just shave little chunks off the end of it. Don't
Also,
stab
just to
yourself.
get it to fit, period.
Yeah, just to get it to fit. You just got to make a little smaller. You can use sandpaper, whatever it is. You're just trying to take the paint off. Just taking the paint off all the way around, just so this will fit in here, just to make it so it's a little smaller around. And that's going to work, but looks like we're going to have to go all the way down with it. So all we're doing is we're just taking the paint off of this peg, just scraping it off. Not all of it, just enough.
We got a little too much on there.
Yeah, it's just a little too big for the hole. All we're doing is just scraping some paint off. And you're not going to see this. It doesn't have to be perfect.
I had that problem a lot with the pre-painted polar lights thing on D7.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything was just caked with paint.
Yep. That should be good. Oh, it's going to be tight, but I think it's going to work. Just a little bit more.
It's actually a pretty cool little kit considering you can get it for like $16, $17.
Now I'm choosing to scrape the plastic off, the paint off the plastic, versus trying to make this hole bigger. The reason being is this hole, you're probably again not going to be able to see it. This hole's hexagonal. Hexagonal?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's meant to grab the plastic. It's not round. Both of these. They're hexagonal.
Maybe they were hoping by doing it that way that the paint wouldn't be as much of a problem.
Maybe. So now that that's set on there, I'm going to mark the hole in the paint. I'll just stab that with my. Let's make a mark in the paint with my X-Acto knife. Pull the panel back off. There's my hole that needs to go in. We'll drill a hole. The Dremel should go through. I'm starting with a small bit. Hopefully it won't walk on me. It's trying to walk. I had a Dremel drill press, but
You don't have it anymore?
it's walking all over the place. I have it. I just don't want to set it up.
Don't want to get it out.
Right? Probably gonna have to. I didn't want to do this, but I will. It'll be my little drill press. Now we made a hole.
Those little Dremel drill presses are cool.
Well, I mean, most people aren't going to do what I'm doing, right? Then they're not going to replace all the lighting in there.
Right.
Not going to replace all the lighting in there. All right, that's almost good. I'm going to go up to the next bigger size. Undo this bit. I learned my lesson a long time ago: is don't grab drill bits after you drill in the metal. They
And they get a little warm.
They can tend to get a little warm. That is indeed, you are correct. This is the drill bit I used last time. Nope, it's a little smaller. That's the one. Now I'm pretty sure this collet is not big enough. So pull this collet out. That's a collet. Need to find one that this will grab. That's So when you're using a Dremel, it'll come with different collets that hold different size shafts. This in.
I bought one of those little adapters that basically changes the Dremel head into a little tiny head like on a regular drill.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean like a where you crank it down with a key?
Yeah,
Or
like
a
well, it doesn't
chuckless?
have a key, but
There's no chuck. It's chuckless.
yeah, it's a keyless chuck. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot better than using the little collets.
Of course, nobody can see what I'm doing. I'm paying attention. All right. And what did
I
I
can see the
say?
Dremel press.
I think I wanted that hole to go a little. So I'm a little off center. I want the hole to go a little that way. So all I'm going to do is just readjust this so it drills a little bigger hole up this way. Now, the test of how big the hole needs to be is, can you get the plug of the LED through the hole? If you can get the plug through the hole, like that, then you're big enough. That's all you need.
Bingo.
And you know what I'm going to do is, while I have this drill press out, I'm going to do the other side and advance. The other side should have a light in the exact same place. So I'm going to mark that hole, and I'm going to drill that hole too. So I only have to do this once.
See, you can have smart ideas on your own, Todd.
Who would have thunk? We'll drill the other side too.
And you don't have to get the drill press out again.
I have to line this panel up. Hold it to the light. It's pretty good. I think I'm going to go one step bigger.
What's the matter, buddy? Hmm? My dog has decided to stand here and stare at me.
How do you do with the fireworks yesterday?
Didn't bother him one bit. Never
You know,
does.
some dogs it does. Some
Yeah.
dogs it doesn't.
Doesn't anything bother him. He's like the most chill dog ever.
What kind of dog is he?
Pit bull. He's 9 years old and he's always been that way. He used to get excited, you know, when you pulled out the rope or something to play tug of war. Now he just looks at you like, yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen.
He's just like, nah, I had enough. Is he older?
He's 9.
Oh, that's not too bad. You know, I see a lot of scary videos with pit bulls, but I'm convinced that I think it depends on the owner.
I agree. We've had 2 and both of them are great dogs.
My sister had pit bulls. You know, I've never had a problem with the pit bulls. I think their personality comes from how they're raised and how they're treated.
I agree.
All right.
The first pit bull we had, my daughter was like 7, 6 or 7 when we first got him. And he was the sweetest dog in the world, unless somebody that he didn't know got too close to her. And then he let them know real quick, hey, you need to back up.
Super, very protective.
Of her, yeah. He didn't give a shit about us. But then nobody get close to her when he was around, unless we said it was okay.
So I'm just taking a file now. I'm just going to smooth out these holes. I don't want any sharp edges. The wires catch on. And all of this red is going to be hidden behind panels, so it doesn't really matter if you're making any marks.
Right there where you're drilling at.
Yeah, all of this is covered. This whole thing. I mean, these are the back doors, but all of this side is all covered by compartments, so you'll never see it. So I'm not worried
That's
that I
basically the
it.
frame of the truck, ain't it?
Yeah, this is the rear box frame. That's pretty good. I just don't want to catch the wires. These are very delicate wires. I just don't want to catch them. I don't want to cut the wire.
Well, are they about 30 gauge, something like that?
Oh God, I think they're like 36. They're so tiny.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They're incredibly tiny wire. All right, dump the Dremel. Put the Dremel aside. Clean up my mess. I made a mess.
I used to use 30 gauge magnet wire.
Mm-hmm.
It was real handy because it's ultra thin, you know, it'll fit anywhere. But I quit using it because that shit will snag on anything and everything. I started using 30 gauge wrapping wire.
Clean up my mess because I made a mess.
Surely not. Drilling doesn't make a mess.
See, this is the stuff you would never see on the camera. I would never show this.
Right?
And now that's the seeds, behind the scenes. Bring the trash can over.
That's why I think Boyd on TrekWorks.
On what?
You know, have you seen TrekWorks? Boyd?
I think so.
I think some of his live videos, streams were actually canned, or segments of them anyway. You know, like he'd say, okay, now let me put you on hold for a minute and I'll jump over to the other bench. I think when he jumped over the other bench, he was jumping over to a video
Mm-hmm.
because you never saw a mess or anything on his bench. You never saw him make a mistake.
See, I think it's best to show the mistakes. Like when I find errors or I find things that I fix, I try to show that how I fixed them.
Right.
Editing those parts out of somebody struggling to build something or struggling with a part, and then they run into the same issue, and then they wonder, well, why? How come when I watched you do it, it only took 4 seconds? So I think it's helpful to
I agree.
explain where it went wrong. All right. All right. So we'll take a picture of this. Now that it's all drilled. And we can carry on. Still nobody watching. It's just you and I.
Hey, we got this, Todd.
Yep. All right. So now we'll go back to this. We drilled a hole in it. We're going to feed our wire through this panel. The plug. Through this panel. I have no idea what my roommate just did. What the hell was that noise? You should do that again for everybody on YouTube. Do that again. What is that?
Were you drilling or something?
Oh, yes, I was drilling.
That's what I heard in my bedroom.
Oh.
I was echoing it back.
You didn't like my drilling?
I'm just mocking it, that's all.
Yeah, well.
I'm going to go up to QT, but it seems like you're busy.
What? What do you get me?
What would you like?
Hmm.
Do you want caffeine at this hour?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to get a couple teas for tomorrow, but
Do they have root beer on the fountain?
on the fountain. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a root beer.
If they don't,
Just a bottle then. Bottle root beer.
okay. You want like a fruit punch or a Fanta or something like that?
That sounds good too. They have orange soda. Whatever.
They have some sort of orange.
Yeah, something.
Okay.
Fanta.
Root beer or orange?
Yeah.
And nothing else? You good?
Zingers.
All
right. Late night snack run.
There you go.
Right, so this needs to go in a specific way. So I think we're ready to glue this. So do I have any soft glue in there? A new drop.
Late night snack runs are the shit, especially when somebody else is making the run.
Mm-hmm. We'll hold that in. What do you have gloves on? What are you doing over there?
Well, I have found that GW paint does not hold up very well to being handled. Something about your oils or whatever, it just rubs off.
Gotcha.
I normally don't use GW paints, but I wanted this color, and GW is the only one that has this particular color. And I'm partially colorblind, so I suck at mixing colors.
Oh, like red green or what?
Yeah, red green.
Yeah. You know, I try to like when I'm drawing pictures or I'm designing layouts or something like that, I try to avoid red green next to each other. Try to make them like red blue, red black, red white, because I know there's a lot of people that have colorblind issues. So I try to make that a little easier when I do my graphics.
Well, I never knew that I was partially red green colorblind until I tried to join the army. I took the ASVAB and everything, was signing up for computer security specialist. And then they informed me, you're red green colorblind, man. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. So that did that real quick.
You know, I remember taking the ASVAB a long time ago.
Yeah, I got a 98 on the ASVAB.
That's good.
And then they said, oh, you can't have this job because you're red green colorblind. It's like, dude, it's a computer job. Well, yeah, but you may have to hook up cables and stuff with night vision goggles on. Okay, it's all green then. There's no red.
All right, now we need to grab the other panel that does have little square recesses, and we got to put this little arm in. I'm definitely going to glue this. Now, I like to look at this to see if there's any side that looks better than the other. Looks pretty good on both sides. Some glue in the hole. Okay. When you're doing this, don't push on the bar. Always push on the ends. Bend it.
Does that do bad things?
It's soft plastic. You could bend the handle if you push in the
Ah,
center. It's always like to say, just always make sure you push on the ends of the bar. I actually use my fingernails, and I push the actual bases of the handle in. Make sure it's flat. So, take a picture of that. Now, we'll bring back our stairs, and we're going to put this panel with the label at the top. So it's upright. And it's just going to fit right in there just like that. And you can actually rest it up against the back of that step. We are going to glue that in, but I did want to test fit it real quick. So I'm going to put glue along this edge. A little more out.
glue it in just for safety.
Yeah, I find myself, because we're not having a real conversation, I find myself mumbling to myself. So I'm trying to speak about what I'm doing because I don't live stream. So
I know how you feel.
just going to put some just
I need
along the
Buck's
side
talent
of
for
this.
just continually talking.
The gift of gab.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure we get some on these pegs.
Buck can just continually talk and never stop.
Well, again, it would help if, if there's people asking questions, if there's anybody watching.
Right.
Somebody's watching. I don't know who's watching.
Oh, we have a viewer.
There you go. So line these two pins up. Pop this in place. Give it a good squeeze and hold it there. You can, like I said, you can prop it up against the back of that step. So
Nobody has bothered to comment yet, though.
maybe somebody will say hi. I know there's a delay in the comments, so.
Right. But my little comment box is empty.
Step fell out.
Maybe they're sitting there going, "What in the world am I watching?"
Well, I put in the description what we're doing. I'm putting a little glue on the inside of these posts. I'll hold it. Because I use Loctite gel because it sticks.
Right.
Let that sit for a minute.
I have both. I have the gel and the regular.
Yep,
Well,
I have both. I buy like a 6-pack of 393.
Yeah, I don't like the really, really thin. I like the regular and the thick.
Mm-hmm. All right, before this dries too much, and I think I'll take a picture. Before this dries too much, we want to apply these 2 pins here and here on the back to these 2 pins and line everything up so all the pins line up. So what I'm going to do is we're going to glue it up first. Get some glue. And it's not really a build guide. This is more of just watching how to do it, or watching me do it, I suppose.
Right.
And we're going to put glue along here, up along these pegs. We're going to put glue here, and on these pegs. We're going to put glue around these pegs. And finally, we're going to put glue around these pegs. And down the back.
You use the pin and a pin vise technique for putting super glue on, don't you?
Yeah, I use toothpicks for a while. I mean, I have a toothpick in here. But I like doing this. I like this. It's got a better handle. You know, you can hold on to it a little better. We're just going to take this and slide this over top of all of those pins. So you might have to move some steps around a little bit. Get it all to line up to make a box. That's it. Nice little staircase
Nice.
with a pre-wired light. Squeeze that up good. Make sure it's got all the steps caught in it.
That's some decent looking aluminum paint too. Or it looks like it on the
Yeah, I
camera
mean,
anyway.
if I were to get, I'll try to block off enough of this so it'll actually focus on what I'm holding. If I were to get my magnifying glass out, I bet you I could read those labels. I mean, they did a really, really good job. I mean, it looks sharp. It really does.
Yeah, I was talking about the paint though. It doesn't look like just silver
Oh,
paint.
no.
It looks like
Yeah.
actual metal.
Yeah. I lied. I grabbed my little headset and I tried to read them. They're too small. Anyway, so that's that. That's that. We did that.
Well, it's like the decals on the Revell 148 scale Blackbird. You can actually read those. Those little tiny, they just look like little red lines until you actually put a magnifying glass on them and go, oh, those are words.
All right, now put that to the side. We're going to take this guy, bring the box frame back. And this sits right on there. Click. And there's pegs on the back of this, which I think I'm going to take a picture of, because that peg goes in this hole, that peg goes in this hole. Nope. I'm going to bump the camera, I know, doing this. Because I mounted the camera on the light. All right. Just like that. And there are recessed holes in here. There, 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 there. So we're going to put in type D screws. This side, some D screws. And these screws are really short. So there's a very good chance that we are going to need. Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Special delivery.
We're going to have to put glue on the end of these screws.
Don't think they'll be long enough to hold.
I don't think so. I think they're too shallow. I think they could have probably put it longer. We can try it. We'll give it a shot. And since we're going into metal, I am going to get some more.
Well, I don't know here.
Let's see if they'll hold it all. Absolutely not. They're literally that short. So that's okay. I'm going to actually just put glue down in the holes.
Are those the screws that it calls for?
Yep.
And yet they're too short.
Yep. So I don't think these are actually going to grab on the metal at all.
That's like engineering. Oops.
Yeah, those don't tighten in at all. No wonder it's just you really just
Now,
gluing the screws in.
how does that get by quality control?
You'd have to ask DiAgostini.
I mean, I can understand a screw that's not long enough to secure well, but a screw that just won't even grab at all. You know, it's like, hey guys, these screws won't hold. They don't even grab. Oh, it'll be okay. We bought like 40,000 of those screws. We have to use them.
All right, now need this guy. I'll need to feed his wire. I'll take this box. Take a picture of that. Not to have to undo this, but it's real. Morning, can't stop long. Just popped in to say hi. Hey, look at that. See, we'll even click on him.
What's going on?
See, Good
I
morning.
know his name, but I can't think of it right now.
What's his name?
I
Come on,
can't
Donnie.
think of it.
I'm relying on you.
If you're relying on me for memory, you picked the wrong person.
Now, another thing Steve ran into is that this would not sit down flush because these pegs were sticking out, and I am running into that as well. So we'll just slide
Time to
this out
trim
real
some
quick.
pegs.
Yep. And just like he did, because he had a great idea, was to use a screw cutter and just shave them down a little bit. They're not really holding the doors on anyway, they're just aligning the doors. So. Cut off any residue.
Well, you don't have to trim them all the way off, do you?
I'm just bringing them down
Sharpen
close
them
to
a
the
bit.
metal.
I mean, if the problem is that they're just too long, you could just shorten them a bit.
That's all I'm doing. Just do that again. Because these are just friction fit. That's perfect. There we go. Doors. Open, closed, power switch. Beautiful.
I'll have to check out those little Lego lights sometime.
Yeah, it's called Light My Bricks. And I've used them. I have their DeLorean kit. I have the Hogwarts Diagon Alley set. I have the Ghostbusters set. I actually bought a second Ghostbusters set of lights to put into my actual Eagle Moss Ecto one because they're so much better. We'll see how that works. But what else did I light? The Ghostbusters house, the firehouse, Big Ben. The Tower Bridge. Like I lit all those with Light My Bricks. They look really good. All right. So the next step is to grab this guy, and he needs to open down towards the ground, and he just slides in here. So we're just gonna slide him in there, just like that.
They usually just buy generic LEDs and solder them up.
I have a pile of those too, but these are super, super tiny LEDs, and I knew with this small scale of the truck that we were going to need them, and they've been working out perfect. All right, we did that. We did that. We need this box, which I think I put in my storage. Oh, it's underneath my Enterprise. Oh. It's not that one. It's a different one. Here it is. I put them in a nice little storage container that I have, and I've been storing my Enterprise on top of it.
Does it crush it?
No, it's just I put the Enterprise upside down on a towel to keep it safe, and it was sitting on top of those boxes. You know what else I got? Here, these are extremely hard to find. I got these little 1/24th scale little firefighter characters.
Oh,
In
nice.
diorama. So I have 4 of them. So I have little guys that are the same scale as the truck, just little resin dudes. And scale
The
some stuff.
Agostini doesn't give little extras like that.
No. The little dude standing next to the truck, say holding the baby. I have 4 of them, so I have like a guy holding the hose. I have a chief, but they're getting harder and harder to find. I got lucky. I found a model shop that still had them in stock, so I ordered them. All right, so now we're just putting this panel in. That was easy.
Eagle Boss charges $1,600 for a model, and then they try to sell you $1,600 worth of extra stuff along the way.
Right? That's okay. Whose name? My name. His name is Lewis. Hello, Lewis.
Lewis, that's it.
Lewis. Lewis says hi. See?
Hi, Lewis.
So I wanted to show you, and if I can get this close enough, it'll focus on it and not the background, because I have to block out the background, or else it's never going to focus. Let's try and focus. There it goes. Oh my God.
There it goes.
So you can even
Well, that
read where
was
it says,
nice.
it says air chisel on that little label. You know, I mean, they did a really good job. Like you can see little labels on that, not the fast pack, but literally there's another little label right there. It's legible too.
That's
you know,
nice.
I can read it. It says extinguisher. This says airbags. This says air chisel. You know, and I'm like, that's actually pretty impressive. The little these are spring loaded, so you can actually pop the the jacks, the stabilizers up and down.
Oh, cool.
You know, I mean, it's just stuff like that. I think it's great. I really do. I really love it. Anyway, so I took a picture of that. That's done. That's done. Oh, that's the end of the issue. All right, cool. We'll take some final pictures of it. Built this. We built this with lights.
Yeah, I heard Buck call Lewis by name, but for whatever reason, I could not remember.
Well, Donnie, that means you're fired.
Well, I wasn't getting paid anyway, so.
And that is stage 38 done. What is stage 39? Oh, building a compartment. Put this to the side. 30.
I think I'm gonna call it a night when I get through painting this part right here.
Well, that'll be good because I got to
It's
do the same thing
midnight.
eventually.
Yeah, it's midnight. We've been on here for a couple hours.
Have we really? Wow.
Yeah, we started at like 10. It's midnight now.
And I made it through one issue.
Right?
Go
But
me.
that was one issue plus mods.
That's true.
It wasn't just one issue.
I think this issue is going to go quick because all we got to do is take this thing, put this thing on this black, like that, the black along the bottom. And I'm pretty sure we got to do the same thing with Type D screws with a little bit of glue. Type D screws.
I still can't see how that got past QC, that the screws aren't even long enough to work at all.
Well, and what I don't get really is, and again, this is not Agora's fault. Agora did not design this model. Is that there's nothing inside this. So these screws could have been plenty long and gone inside. Now, I do believe that we're going to get some ladders, and the ladder storage compartment would normally be inside this part of the truck, right? So behind these doors, that worked. behind these doors, you would normally have ladders, like extension ladders would slide in and out.
Right, but regardless of whether there's ladders in there or not, they could have made the screws long enough to actually reach the metal.
Yeah. So I'm going to put some glue in here to make sure this thing stays where it belongs. Since I'm pretty sure that these screws aren't doing anything.
Because
They're going to act
otherwise,
as
they're kind of pointless.
they're going to act as basically pegs and eventually just glue it in there. But I'll put some glue to make sure it stays. All right, that's done. Sorry, keep open the camera. All right, that's done. Oh, we get to put our light in. Very exciting.
Oh, the light you wired up a while ago?
Mm-hmm. Just feed it through. Squeeze it into place. Now that that light is mounted, I'm going to plug it in one more time just to make sure it works.
I always do that.
Make sure it's not shorting out on anything. I didn't pinch the wires. Ta-da! Red light.
Nice.
So that's done.
So you got the stairs and all the little boxes done on one side of the truck.
Yep. So that's done, and that's done. I'll take a picture of this real quick. And then put a battery box on the bottom. And that gets type J screws. 3 of those. It'll give us 3. So these are going in the metal, so they're going to get oiled. Hi, Joshua. Does Joshua go by Joshua? I have a friend of mine that refuses to go by
Joshua.
He refuses to go by Josh, so that's why I ask.
Joshua Rydstone, he has a good YouTube channel. I've watched a lot of his videos.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, he's been on YouTube a long time.
You know, I've had a YouTube account since 2006. I put on a couple videos of my cars a long time ago. And then I never did anything again. Those 2 videos were there forever and ever and ever and ever. They're gone now, but that's what started that account.
I've only had a YouTube channel for about 3 years now, something like that. Right before all the COVID stuff started, right around in there. Back when I first got into hobby
See, he
making.
goes by Josh.
Yeah. Yeah. He has a lot of good videos on his channel. He builds models, paints a lot of minis.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, he does a lot of interviews with other people that build models and paint minis and stuff. Meet the
Well, that's
Modeler. That's it.
It's called Meet the Modeler.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He said we're more than welcome to be guests on Meet the Modeler when he starts it back up in September or October.
Do you take the summer off? Is that what happens?
That would be pretty cool, actually. Especially since I've been watching his videos forever. I really like your videos, Josh. But I'm fixing to get out of here. Got some good progress done tonight.
I think so too, because you know what? That was the end of this issue, or this stage. So I can take a final picture, I suppose. We can take a picture. I don't want to do this. And these 2 little cable clips.
He says he took the summer off. He's been busy. And he
Yep.
said bye.
Bye, Josh.
But I got
Thanks for
this
coming by.
little control house finished. Well, if my camera will focus.
Yeah, I got 2 stages finished. I'm sure I'll work on this again tomorrow night.
I guess my camera just says, there we go.
No, that looks good. That looks fantastic. Great work, man.
Thank you.
Is that all hand painted?
Yeah.
You're insane.
I don't know why my camera won't focus. There we go.
Yeah. No, that looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Josh asked if that's a Warhammer piece.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh, it's the where'd the box go?
I could have swore I saw on Reddit that somebody was painting those to look like a Arizona tea can, like Arizona green tea.
Possible. It's the Arcanaut Ironclad. I don't play Warhammer, but I'm gonna use it for D&D.
That looks great. Alrighty. Well, we went an hour 40. We both stopped at a reasonable point. I have finished stage 38. We can get on in 39. We'll be adding more custom lighting. Or was that 39 that I just finished? Oh, that was 39. Excellent. So yeah, in 40, we get to add the rear brake lights, housing, the light cluster, some little axe details. So we're going to add another strobe light back here for the back of the truck.
Are you going to use the kit lighting for the brake lights?
Yeah, so the brake lights, the turn signal, that's all still stock lighting. And that's perfectly fine by me. But all the emergency lights I have on a remote control.
Yeah, I mean, if it works the way you want it to work, then there's no point in changing it.
Yeah, no, it works fine. But I'm probably going to have to modify this circuit board just like I did with the headlights. I can use the LED that's on the board, but I basically have to cut the traces and wire these tiny little wires to this board, so I can have the strobes work the way I want them to work. So
have them work off the
that's
same
a good stopping
battery
point. That's definitely sounds like we'll do that tomorrow kind of thing. But no.
And Joshua says Warhammer pieces are cool. He don't play either, but he likes to paint them.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
They do have some cool stuff. It's just their prices are redonkulous. Like this thing. This thing is like $90.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. All right, man. Are you done?
Who, me?
Yep.
Yeah.
So say your goodbyes to nobody.
All right. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Come back to Hobby Time Modelers and check us out again. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one. See ya.
See you, Ty.